I got to see a bit of an early screening of Trey Edward Schultz and The Weeknd's new film, Hurry Up Tomorrow. I'm gonna be honest, this is a little bit of a weird one. Now, complete transparency, I am a Weeknd fan. I've been a Weeknd fan since 2012 when I heard The Zone for the first time. And I loved the trilogy mixtapes. I loved Beauty Behind the Madness, Starboy, every album since then. I've been a big Weeknd fan. So I gotta make that clear right now. This film is trying to be very artsy. And there's a lot of symbolism in it. And there's a lot of things that are kind of open to interpretation as to what they mean. The story is kind of all over the place. At times you think it is going to be a drama, and then it kind of moves to be a psychological thriller. I'm not really quite sure where it lands, to be honest with you. But there is somewhat of a plot there. Now, Barry Keoghan and Jenna Ortega are great. The Weeknd's performance is decent. You can tell he's put in some work into his acting performances. But his is the weaker of the three, and those three actors are basically the only ones in the movie. Jenna Ortega in particular is giving a phenomenal performance in this one. Some of the cinematography in this movie is pretty decent. I will give it that. Just nothing innovative and nothing really helps drive the story forward. Some of the dialogue in this movie and some of the moments that happen, you can tell are meant to be taken seriously, but the way they're delivered kind of makes it almost comical. There's moments in this movie where it's supposed to be serious and the whole theater just kind of busts up laughing. Even I myself couldn't help but laugh at some moments. And it does end rather abruptly, leaving a lot of the movie to be left up to interpretation. And if you're a Weeknd fan, you probably might catch on to some things in this movie that others might not. Now, first and foremost, I do 100% believe that this movie is strictly for the Weeknd fans. I don't think general audiences are going to like it at all. But myself and a friend that I went with, we were big Weeknd fans, so we were really excited to see what this movie was about. And I think we left not hating it. Now, the movie doesn't really tell you this. Like I said, a lot of it is left up to interpretation. I myself, being a big Weeknd fan, kind of saw everything as Jenna Ortega's character isn't really real. She's kind of more of a manifestation of Abel's views on himself. And she's there to kind of show him that he was the problem in his relationship. He was the toxic one, showing him the error of his ways, I guess, his selfishness, and being kind of his guiding light to not so much redemption, but realization that he's the one that needs to change. And that's where we get the completion of the song Hurry Up Tomorrow at the end of the movie. By the way, there's a moment in this movie where he sings that song and it just goes on, and it is like comical. But I think people were nervous in the theater. He sang almost the entire song tied to a bed. This movie is for the Weeknd fans. Let's leave it at that. This movie is for the Weeknd fans. They're the ones that are going to go to this movie and enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it for his music. Enjoy it for the interpretations of what comes across on the screen. I honestly say I cannot recommend it if you're not a fan of The Weeknd. If you go see this movie and you don't know who he is, you don't know his music, I'm not going to lie, you're not going to like it. If you are a fan of The Weeknd, I think you may have a decent time with it. He has a lot of his music in there. He has a lot of symbolism that Weeknd fans might recognize and understand. I never really give out 2 scores, but I think I might for this one. If you're a Weeknd fan, like myself, I'm a big fan of The Weeknd. Like I said, I've been listening since 2012, and I've listened to every album on release date since then. I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10 as a Weeknd fan. But critically, from a general audience movie standpoint, it probably gets like a 3. It gets a 3 if you're not a Weeknd fan. Like I said, don't go see it if you're not. If you are, you might actually enjoy it. I'm not disappointed. I just expected something different. But yeah, basically, short and sweet. If you're a Weeknd fan, check it out. You might like it. Maybe check it out on like one of those discount movie days. If you're not a Weeknd fan, I would probably say avoid this one. It's not something you'd probably be interested in anyways. Anyways, I really liked Hurry Up Tomorrow, the album. I thought it was good. Yeah. See ya.